This is Regina Davis, NARUC's Director of Communications here at the Summer Policy Summit in San Diego, California. And here with me right now, we have Ezell Watson III of the Oregon Public Utility Commission. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
So can you tell us what you do for the Oregon PUC?
Absolutely. I am the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for our Public Utility Commission.
And how long have you been there?
Approaching 2 years.
Okay, and tell us a little bit more about your position in this role at the Oregon PUC.
The purpose of my role is essentially to help us operationalize the tenets of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I've been able, because my commission has supported me and the staff has supported this work, I've been able to participate in some recently docketed items, and we've been able to introduce the idea of an equitable lens or an equity lens in our decision-making processes. We also have a just energy transition program manager position that I work closely alongside. And we are, along with one of our commissioners, he is the executive sponsor, Mark Thompson, of our diversity, equity, and inclusion operations plan, where we intend to utilize an equity lens to apply it to our decision-making frameworks.
Okay, so how has this plan been received so far?
With curiosity. I think in the regulatory space, commissions, there's a lot of intelligent people who love to interrogate process. And I think that that's helpful because I think it just really creates a more sturdy, if you will, lens, something that may be a little bit more sustainable. We know it will evolve over time, but the plan has been received with curiosity and feedback. And it's going to be continue to be a collaborative effort with the commissioner, myself, and staff. So I'm very much excited about that work.
So it sounds like everything at a public utility commission, it's a process.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a process. And so what do you think the role of a utility commission is in this DEI space?
I think we are leaders by example, one, because we are the governing structure. So I think as we do is what everyone else does. So I think utilities look to us to set the pace. I would use the example of a race car, like NASCAR. There's a pace car. Yes. And when the pace car is out there, no one can pass that car. That's kind of like we're like the pace car.
Okay.
And additionally, I think as regulators, we have a role of like referee or official. We have to make sure that we call the game fairly, allowing for equity, allowing for additional voices at the table. And that means sometimes we may have to create space, pull up a chair for some people. So okay. I think we function more like referees.
Okay, very good. Now, I noticed that you were participating in our poverty simulation that we had on Sunday. Now, can you talk about your experience in the poverty simulation? What did you think of it?
It was life-altering for me. I'm grateful to Commissioner Linton from Maryland for tapping me to lead a group, and it's activities like that help make commissioners and commissions and staff, stakeholders, advocates, utilities, everyone. It strengthens us all. I believe that it expands our capacity for compassion, and that translates into more inclusive practices, bolder decisions as it relates to equity. So I'd recommend the poverty simulator for anyone that is remotely connected to utility regulation.
Wow, that is a very strong ringing endorsement. And I noticed that at the end of the poverty simulation during the debrief, you really had a lot to say. You gave a very well-received, very good summary of the day's experience.
Thank you very much. It really was. In the group that I facilitated, there was a gentleman who, to avoid the poverty cycle, when we all started to go about our day-to-day business, he went and stole a lot of people's property, right? And so, and he effectively avoided the poverty trap.
Okay.
And so in our group, we talked about how that was like a microcosm of what may have happened, how some people view the formation of this country, and the distribution of land in this country. So I thought that was just so appropriate, being as that we are regulators who are government officials. The poverty simulator just, again, and that was a part of the simulation.
Right.
Right. It was designed to make us do that, and it did just what it was designed to do. So I'm very excited for Oregon Public Utility Commission to also participate in the poverty simulator.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So would you think that's a good idea to bring that simulation concept to Oregon? Because I know that many groups purchase the simulation, use it themselves. So is that something that you would endorse at your commission?
Yes, 100%. I believe that in order to be better, more equitable decision makers, we have to have an expanded frame of reference. And I believe that the poverty simulator does just that. So, and it will be difficult to get our staff to travel. It would be very cost ineffective.
Right.
But to bring it to Oregon that would be fun. Our advocate community, stakeholder community,
Sure.
would be a way that we could bring multiple groups together for decision making around something that would be enlightening. And I don't want to call it fun, but a good work. Kind of feels like when you go to the gym and you work out really good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So each participant played a role. Are you at liberty to talk about the role, the persona that you took on during the simulation?
I have a role in a family. Everyone has a role in a family.
Mhm.
And my role was that of a child.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you were able to sort of tap into your inner child using the basis of the character that was given to you.
Definitely. And I am the oldest of 6 children who was raised at some point in times by a single father.
Mhm.
And I had a mother and father who had suffered from mental health negligence.
Okay.
And so there were times where we experienced poverty.
Okay.
And so this was an awesome opportunity for me to draw from experience, but to my parents' experience. So I saw like the person who played my father
Mhm.
reminded me of like some of the, like he said some things to us that was similar to what my dad would have said, because I did something that my younger brother had done to try to help out our family. It's a simulator. So I stole.
Okay.
I stole
All right.
some jewelry from the pawn shop. The simulated pawn shop.
Right.
Don't send anybody for me, okay?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just there was a pawn shop, there was a payday loan company, a bank, they had social services. So it was really, in my opinion, very well rounded.
Yes.
I think the word that you used was microcosm is a very good snapshot, microcosm of what goes on in people's lives, even down to the difficulties of daycare and transportation.
Yes. Daycare, transportation, understanding the impact of an extra $75 on your utility bill, where probably the average well-to-do, not definitely anyone well-to-do, you wouldn't even notice that, but that might represent the difference between having enough groceries for that week or purchasing much needed medication for an ill family member. So
Right.
I thought that it humanized poverty in a way that decision makers can see directly the impact of decisions we've made on people's lives.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about? This is, I would assume, your first in-person NARUC meeting.
It is. It is. I would just continue to commend NARUC. What is probably most impressive about this particular Summer Institute is the breadth of topics that are covered and the network of people that are brought together and the dynamic exchange of ideas, all in a central location. And it doesn't hurt that this is in the beautiful city of San Diego.
True, very true. So thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of the summit to chat with us about your experiences. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very